Tell us what we mean by an unauthorized insurance company. What does that mean?
I'll take that.
Okay.
An unauthorized insurance company is simply one that's not licensed to transact business in the state of North Carolina, which means there are no guarantees associated with that company. There's a good, strong possibility that the Department of Insurance isn't even aware that that company exists. And it also means if you purchase a product from that company, more than likely, if you were to have a claim, that claim may or may not be paid. That's what it means.
Now, is it legal to operate an unauthorized insurance company in North Carolina?
No. There's a law on the book that requires anybody offering products of insurance to be properly licensed by our department. Also, it's not only just being licensed, it's putting up a certain amount in terms of reserves, having the financial wherewithal to pay claims, etc. So yes, there's a law on the book that clearly says they have to be licensed.
So I imagine that there are some, in this day and age, it's very easy to print out some convincing looking brochures and to come up with a website that looks very convincing. So to the consumer who's trying to be resolute and trying to be careful, what are some red flags that they should be looking for to make sure that the company who's approached them is legitimate and authorized?
You want me? I was going to say, I'll take it.
I'll throw out the first one. The first one is that if they're not licensed to do business in the state, if you are contacted by an insurance company or an adjuster or someone who purports to sell you an insurance product, check them out. Make sure that they are licensed with the Department of Insurance, and you can find that information on our website or by calling us. And I'm sure Angela has other ways that folks can find out too.
Is that readily accessible, that information?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, we have the department has the 1-800 number for all consumers. I'm sure there's a card around somewhere.
Okay.
But the main thing is to utilize your common sense. If in fact you were paying $400 or $500 a month for insurance and somebody offers it to you for $150, one of your antennas should go up. So the main thing is, if it sounds too good to be true, more than likely it is too good to be true. So if you suspect that something is not right, all is not well, then that's that 1-800 number to the department that really should be used. That's the easiest thing that a consumer can do. Lots of people get taken in because the product is cheap.
And when they call that number, 1-800-546-5664, is that during weekday office hours, Monday to Friday?
Yes.
Okay, and will they be working with a voicemail guide so that they know what department they're asking for?
That's exactly right.
Okay.
When that number is dialed, it will give you, the caller, quite a few options as to what type of insurance are you interested in, life and health, and do you have a life and health insurance question, or do you have a property and casualty question, something relative to homeowners or automobile. And so once you make that selection, then we can get you to the appropriate party.
Okay, the right direction.
And we have our the Department of Insurance, the Criminal Investigations Division. We have 919-807-6840. And that's answered by an individual. We don't have voicemail or anything. That's always answered.
Oh, that's by a human being, a pure T human being.
8 to 5. That's a human being, and you'll be talking to one of the individuals in our office that understand the violations. And we, like I said, we probably get between 60 and 70 complaints a week, either written, by email, fax, or by phone. The complaints come in to us, and we investigate.
Okay.
And I'd like to assure folks that even if they don't call those numbers directly, if they reach somebody else in the Department of Insurance, they will be sent to the appropriate division, whether it's a consumer matter or whether it's a criminal investigations matter. We have a great team, and we regularly get calls in my office, and we forward them right directly to the appropriate investigations official or through our consumer services hotline.
Okay.
Another thing I might add on that too, some people are reluctant or hesitant to call in because they're afraid they might be civilly liable or anything like that. Well, there's a statute on our books that makes it you're not going to be liable if you report a violation that you believe to be a violation.
Okay.
You're protected.
And that's in the situation, what would be a situation where somebody might be worried that they were liable? If there was a fraudulent, say, auto accident or What would be an example?
It could be anything. It could be an ex-spouse calling about a spouse.
Okay.
They might have some information that the spouse filed a false claim, and they're worried about it because maybe it'll cut off their alimony or like that. But so they don't have to worry about that. It's also be held confidence. We don't divulge who called in and who did not call in. So.
Okay.